Hello and welcome to Break Even by Breakfast on the Accounting Channel with me, Mark Sweetman. On this show, we interview startups to find out how they are getting on and how they set up their operations. My guest today is Ray Mongey. He's the product team lead at Octovid. Octovid is an intelligent video marketing software which gives brands the ability to personalize any video on their website.
So essentially what it does is you can create a video that you pop onto your website or your store as normal, but what it will do is that it will actually change the message and the video footage and the audio based on who's viewing it, when they're viewing it, like time of day, day of the week, month, the weather conditions that they're currently experiencing. So basically it updates and dynamically changes the content based on who's viewing it. For one example would be if you are in London and it's 8 p.m. at night and it's raining, then if you go to my website, then the video footage could show rainy footage of London at nighttime. And then the message could be, it's really rainy, don't go out for dinner, order takeaway, justeat.com. Definitely B2B. So we are working with a couple of e-commerce platforms. So companies that are running their stores maybe on Shopify or WooCommerce or something like that. And then also we're actually chatting to larger agencies who are looking at using this as part of the bigger campaigns that they're running for their clients. So yeah, the broad, it goes from individuals running their store maybe right up to large organizations that are household names. It's still kind of ugly, but we would have iterated it quite a bit. So it's just we're still gathering feedback. We're still doing one-to-one Skype or Zoom calls with customers and that, and just gathering up more information of what they need and which way it should function and that. But the core functionality of it is there. It's working fine, and people are using it on their sites. So there's a couple of live examples on our website as well that you can have a look at. I could talk to you all day about this. I've got a video production business which would have been set up back in 2013. So essentially, I would have started freelancing nearly 20 years ago, doing animation, motion graphics, some 3D work, visual effects, and that, and then set up a business back in 2013. And then the idea of actually making videos for companies, it's a long, tedious process and it's very labor intensive as well. So to think of something that could actually automate some of them processes was always something I had at the back of my mind. Yeah, this product itself has been through, this is the second major iteration. We would have pivoted back in December 2019, and then essentially used the knowledge that we had based on the personalization and the dynamic elements from the previous year and actually built out a brand new tool. And that's what you see now. It's it's quietly launched, I guess. It is out there at the minute. We're working on a lot of marketing content and PR content at the minute. So we're building up, say, um, blog articles, and we're doing a couple of interviews as well on podcasts like yourself here. So it's just building up the PR and content at the minute, and while we're still gathering feedback and we're still making iterations, we'll always be making iterations because it is a SaaS platform, it is a SaaS app. But yeah, it's pretty much ready to go, ready for business now, which is great. Facebook groups. And I think a lot of people think Facebook is for pictures of grandkids and cats and pets and stuff, and taking photographs of your dinner like Instagram. But I use Facebook primarily for business, to be honest. And there's a lot of groups that I'm in. Say, for example, there's a lot of Shopify and e-commerce groups where I'd get to know a lot of the members of them groups and also get to know the admins and that. So they're quite happy for me to post and look for beta testers, for example, back when we were in the initial stage of beta testing. So it was really helpful there, and they're always willing to give uh, valid feedback as well. So yeah, Facebook groups has been massive. I think going from there, a bit of posting in LinkedIn, the new channels that we're looking at, as I mentioned, is podcasts. So basically recording a podcast with a well-known established company in that particular sector, in either for you guys for business or for the one that was we only actually put it out there today. It's for a Shopify community. So it's a large Shopify based business in Ireland, but actually taking the podcast, transcribing it, using that then for good SEO and giving examples within that blog content as well. So it's all any content that we're creating, we're recycling it and pushing it out there. So it's under 100 at the minute, so it is quite small, but I think for the ones, because I would have worked in animation with a lot of agencies over the years, I'd have a lot of contacts in the bigger agencies, the marketing agencies and the video production agencies. So although they're much bigger, they are a bit slower to move on things, but we've got a lot of interest from them. Some really good testimonials, and we're building up case studies with them now. At the minute, we've got a large project that we're running at the minute with one of those. So for the first iteration, just so that I don't confuse everybody here, the first version of Octovid would have been a template maker for e-commerce stores. So that's, you pick a template, you change the brand colors to suit you, you search for your own products in your store, and then it creates a video, and there you go, share on social media. But as I mentioned earlier, there's a small element of that was personalization and dynamic. So we basically put a pause on the development of that version of like that app itself in December, and then built this entirely new platform. So the other one was a monthly subscription based on credits. So each credit was one video that you could actually render. So you could make as many videos as you want using the templates, but as soon as you click render to take that video and download it and share it or whatever, then that would cost one credit. This new app that we're focused on for the dynamic and personalization is built on a pay-as-you-go system. So again, it's credits, but it's a different model. It's similar to say CPM costs. So you can sign up now on the website and you'll get a free trial and you'll have 500 credits. So essentially each credit is an impression. So when you create a video, you embed it like you would like a normal YouTube video. You just get the snippet of code, the iframe, embed that website, and then once 500 people view that's 500 impressions, then the player will stop working for you until you top up and get more credits. So it started as a small investment from family that would have seen the potential in the initial iteration that the app was. And then after that, funding that, we got support from Leo, so the local enterprise office as well, for the study funding, the feasibility study funding grant, which was great. So if anybody else is starting off in business, definitely look at Leo there. They're incredibly helpful.
Is that a sort of 50-50 co-fund? Every euro you spend, you get a euro to spend from the Leo, is it?
Yeah. I think you spent a whole lot, whatever they agreed you could avail of. You spent a whole lot, and then keep the receipts and invoices and all that, and then they'll pay you back 50% of that. I think, from what I remember, that's how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
We did go on to New Frontiers as well, which in the Enterprise Ireland program for startups, so that was incredibly helpful. And besides all the supports that you get in there, everything that you learn, the mentorship, everything else that comes with it, there's also a stipend as well that can keep you going. So that money's there to say, okay, well, not quit your job, do less of your day job there and focus on this business idea and see if you can actually validate it and get customers and traction. So yeah, that was great. We had another investor as well after that, and then as you mentioned, CSF then come on board as well. Mainly sales and marketing, to be honest. Obviously, we're still developing it, and we're learning from the customers of what they want. So that's what's driving us to build the other tools into it. But to be honest, a lot of the stuff that we from a very, very early talks, we realized that we have to build in there the things that people are asked, that current customers are asking about, and we can say, yeah, it's actually it's in there. So one example would be a store in the UK who sells to the UK, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, but they sell photography equipment, so really high spec lenses for Canon and Sony, but also mobile phones, say Huawei phones with 8K video footage recording. But they know that their customers in Saudi Arabia they all seem to want the high spec phones with the HD recording. So we can have the video change dynamically based on what region in the world that the viewer is. So if somebody in Saudi Arabia looks at the video, the message will be tailored to them, and it will have the high spec Huawei phone rotating with the good lenses, whatever. But if somebody in the UK, for example, is looking at the homepage, then the homepage video will change and actually show the high spec Sony and Canon lenses. I think if I admire what Elon Musk does, I think if I hired him, I'd just step away, just let him, because no matter even if you told him to do certain things in certain ways, he'd just do his own thing, and he would probably be successful. So I don't think there's any point. I don't think it'd work for me though, in fairness. But I don't have any specific names that I could mention that I'd like to get on board. I think just people who are willing to learn and are dedicated to building a good tool that will help people market their products and services. That's the main thing, really. We do have a board that you can make the suggestion that other people can upvote it, and then we can sort of prioritize what the masses want. Not that there's a whole lot of masses, but the users that we do have. But for as I mentioned earlier, some of the things that we had built in from earlier conversations are the things that people are asking for. So like the location-based, changing the content based on location in the world, or someone else, another store that we're speaking to, who they sell children's clothes and little like raincoats and things like that. So it's they have a review page. So if you're on their product page looking at the little yellow raincoat for 6 to 8 year olds or whatever, and then you click on the reviews to find out what the reviews are of this brand as a whole and this store that you're on, then it brings you to the reviews page. But the review page is a generic page with video or whatever, people saying, we love this brand, it's great quality, blah blah blah. But what they wanted to do is update that video based on the product page that the user has come from. So we can actually do that because we have a feature called referral linking, and it was initially built so if somebody's searching in Google, for example, and search for, say, wedding dresses, then when they click on the link from Google, then the player on your wedding dress website would know the keywords that you were looking for. So your website might say, we're all things wedding. We do cakes, we do events, we do singers, we do wedding dresses. But because the video knows that you came from a search looking for wedding dresses, the video just shows wedding dresses and just talks about wedding dresses in the message. So the same with the kids' clothes store. If the customer is looking at the yellow jackets and then clicks on the review page, then the review page's video only displays people holding up the yellow jacket going, this is such a great product, great brand, blah, blah, blah. But if they're on the toddler shoes page, for example, then the review page will update to show people who purchased that particular shoe product. Traffic is huge for me, and blog content is huge. And what I would have done in my previous business was we did spend a lot of time creating good SEO and good content for blogs. And to this day, it's still driving traffic to the website. So the way I see it is if you do that well and you get the traffic in and you're building good content to drive the traffic in, then your evergreen content is only going to go like that. But with paid ads, it goes like this and then spikes and then it's right back down to the end again. So I think traffic based on SEO is a huge KPI to track for us.